No, I can't do that. Like the other day, this wasn't funny a bit. See, this finger right here is still a little bit swollen. But I tell you what, this finger here, I was cutting a branch, and I was using a handsaw because you couldn't get in there with a chainsaw, and you couldn't get in there with any sort of electrical saw. You couldn't get in there with a sawzall. You had to use a small handsaw to cut this little branch off. The branch was only about yay big around. It wasn't that big of a deal. But because all the other branches, and I didn't want to damage the tree, and by the way, when you cut off branches, you know how people cut off. Here, let me do a little. Let's do a little. We got to do this, man, because this is important. It's really not important, but it's kind of important. Hang on. Hold on. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Let me get this failed frickin' lottery ticket. We can do it there. Where's my Penske? Where's my Penske? What the frack? There it is. Alright. It's Learning Channel. Alright. Anyway. When you got a branch there, a lot of people cut it off straight away. Right against the tree. That's a no-no. Don't do that shit. It's bad for the tree. What you do is you cut it off like an inch of the branch right there and leave the knob sticking out until it like dries out and rots that little area, and then you cut it off. The reason why is because you add a lot of stress to the tree when you do that. So it's kind of like if you're going to cut off your arm, just cut your arm off. You don't cut it off at the fucking shoulder all the way down to the armpit. Does that make sense? You're adding like more stress on the body. Same way with a tree. Anyway, so I'm in there and I'm hand cutting this frickin' limb, but it's such a tight area. All these other branches are everywhere, so I got to get in there a handsaw. Little bitty. It's a Japanese handsaw, actually. It's a two-sided. Anyway, I'm cutting. I'm putting a lot of pressure on it, and the way I was cutting it, my hand slipped, and there was another little frickin' branch that was really sharp, kind of like a frickin' knife. I didn't see it. I didn't notice it anyway. My frickin' knuckle went right into it, like bam! Ooh, with all that weight. I mean, I could feel the wood hit the bone. You know what I mean? Ooh. It hurt really bad, you know, and I thought, oh shit, I probably broke this motherfucker. Because it went in and out and started bleeding like a motherfucker. I was like, oh, don't bleed. And you know what? You can do that. I don't know if you ever believe this shit. You might think I'm crazy. Well, I already know I'm a little crazy, right? But you might think I'm nuts, but I'm not nuts. Sometimes when you cut yourself, you can tell your body not to bleed, and it won't. You ever hear that? Sometimes, for real, no bullshit, you can go under hypnosis, and you take a needle and stick it right in your finger, and whoever's hypnotizing you can say, don't bleed, don't bleed, don't bleed, and you won't fucking bleed. You won't. You won't, motherfucker. It's cool. It's cool shit. But you can do that being awakened, too. So I'm like, oh, I don't bleed, don't bleed, don't bleed, don't bleed, don't do it, don't do it. Then you're like, okay, you can do it. You know, get it to clean it out. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to pick all the little pieces of wood out of there before it starts bleeding, and then I won't be able to see, you know? So anyway, get all the fucking wood out of there. Wrapped it up, you know, put the Neosporin on there immediately. Put a Band-Aid on it and continue went back to work. Okay. Anyway, what I'm trying to tell you is, when I got home that night, my fucking, this finger here was as big around as my thumb. For reals. It was so swollen. It was like purple and yellow and shit by the knuckle here, and you couldn't even tell those little wrinkles and lines in your knuckle. They weren't even there. It was like so swollen and shit, right? I was thinking, man, you know, I haven't got time for the pain for real. I gotta do some more work. I ain't got time for that shit, right? The next day is getting more swollen. I'm thinking, oh shit. As soon as I start feeling a pulse in there, you know what that means? Infection. When you start feeling the dun 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 dun, chances are there's something foreign in there. You got an infection, and you got to open the fucker up. If you don't get that heartbeat bastard in there, then you probably don't have an infection. There was no heartbeat bullshit in there, so I'm thinking, okay, I got all the wood out of there. All the foreign stuff is out of there. Everything's good. Good to go. It's just a swollen motherfucker. Put some ice on it. Put ice on shit. Swollen go down. All that stuff. You'll be okay. Put the ice on it. Swollen did go down considerably, at least half. And then about 2 days later, I noticed it was still kind of swollen. Well, I really believe in self-medication, and I believe in self-treat. Now, you can think I'm nuts all you want, but that's exactly what the fuck I did, too. I lanced that sumbitch right now. And guess what? Bunch of fucking pus came out, and about, I don't know, 8 hours later, I felt a lot better. There wasn't as much pressure. I can bend the fucker now, whereas before it was like I couldn't. And that's what I did. I lanced it. I don't know if you can see it. Right next to the frickin' wound with a knife. Where's my knife? With this guy right here, actually. Not this one, but a clean one. And just cut that sumbitch, boy. Ooh, it's good times. But now it's all better. It's great. Yeah, it looks good now, doesn't it? I mean, it looks a little swollen, but it's not nearly as bad as what it was. God dang, man. Exactly. Oh, animal bites are bad. They're nasty. Yeah, and they're not... You know, it's not red. That's how you can tell there's an infection, man. When it gets like puffy and red around the wound, you got problems. When it gets so swollen to the point where you feel like there's constant pressure on it, and when you get the fucking heartbeat, baby, you're in deep shit. You better act quick. You better get your ass to the doctor or lance it your damn self. Because if you don't, I don't know if you ever heard of this or not, stupid silly ass infections back in the 1800s kill motherfuckers. You could die by a toothache back in the day. Because motherfuckers get infection in the mouth. The mouth is very close to the brain. You see what I mean? And people ignore it and they figure, oh, I'm a man, I can handle it. Well, next day they're dead. Same thing with your any part of your body. If it gets an infection where it's really, really bad, it can knock your ass down. I mean, for real. You'll get a fever and you're all... because the poison is going throughout your blood... I'm not joking, man. I'm serious as hell. That's why I believe in all that self-medicating bullshit. For me to go to the doctor is a once-in-5-year event. I just won't do it. People are like, oh, you got to get a blood test, and we got to do all these tests, and we got to scan this. Fuck off. You ain't doing shit. Leave me alone. Oh, that's not good. That's not responsible. It's not responsible? Here, let me tell you something's not responsible. Here you got a country with 320 million people in it. Alright? All these people doing all kinds of fucked up shit. They're out there axing and chainsawing and they're frickin' whatever they're doing. Playing in the dirt, landscaping, however they want to do whatever they do. They get some sort of infection, whether it be like a tooth infection, which is very common. Because motherfuckers don't clean their teeth, or they get something foreign in their gums, or they have gingivitis, or who fucking knows what they got, right? They go through some sort of excruciating pain, unnecessarily, when they get their happy ass down to a store and get some sort of, it's not penicillin because it's not called that today, but it's equivalent of antibiotic. Because technically, before you should pull a tooth, you should get rid of the infection first, if possible. You know what I mean? So what do you got to do? First, you got to go to a fucking doctor. He's got to, you know, give you permission to treat it or some shit for 3 to 10 days. And then you go back to the doctor and fucking get the cocksucker pulled. Yeah, that's it. Amoxicillin, that's right. Why is that? They don't have these problems in Mexico. Go to the fucking store, and it's a done deal. All taken care of. If you get an infection in your hand, or who fucking knows what, and they're like, oh, well, the reason why we do that is because, you know, you want to get a control, and after time, you know, people will become resistant if it's overused and fuck off, dude. That shit's already happening. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? It's all about control, man. Never forget that. It's all about control. We have the goodies. We have the medicine. You need the medicine. And for you to even get the fucking medicine, you're going to have to pay some cocksucker $200 to write you a goddamn stupid-ass prescription that nobody can read. Nobody could read his signature. Nobody can hardly read what the hell they're writing in the first goddamn place. Then you got to go over to this place, go pick it up with the instructions, how to use, and then come back home and do your stupid bullshit. This is, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this. It's called, is it Codex Alimentarius? Something to do with these cocksuckers want to ban all non-prescriptive type vitamins, and they want to control all of the herbs, and they want to control all of the... Now, it's not the cap and trade bill now. It has to do with regulation on all of these vitamins and supplements and all this bullshit. Why? Because they're having a substantial impact, financial impact, on who? The pharmaceuticals. The pharmaceuticals are getting their ass cleaned up by the metaphysical industries throughout the United States, and they are too. They're getting their ass whooped. Alternative medicine is whooping ass and taking names left and right. Here's another thing. How many people in here have children? How many people in here have kids? I'm sure a couple of you do. That's it. Codex Alimentarius, right. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know about you, Aussie Batter. Good day, Aussie. You're in Australia, I know that. But correct me if I'm wrong. In the United States of America, I do not have children, so... I mean, I probably do somewhere, but all of, you know, everything, you know, I can't get into that shit, because I just better not. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, I got a lot of liquid kids, but all of my kids always ended up on somebody's back, or in their stomach, or, you know, in their ass, or something. Who fucking knows what? Anyway. I know it's disgusting.